We need to talk. Chapter 1057 came out and it was possibly the worst chapter in all of Wano. What was that? What was that? Hot garbage, that's what it was. Let's ignore for a second the side boob in the room and focus on structure. We get it. We get it. Wano was divided in acts like a play. This chapter is literally called Final Curtain, for fuck's sake. It starts and ends with a kabuki-style play, and the last panel literally has Final Curtain written over a curtain. Oda, love, sometimes less is more, and this was so on the nose broke, and now it hurts. Also, could we have crammed in any more flashbacks? I'm gonna be honest, I skimmed through them on the first read. I actually skimmed through half the chapter, if I'm gonna be completely honest. It's like, you're telling me we have the time to reminisce about things we have all seen and read, some of those things very recently, but we don't have the time to give Kaido a proper flashback. All those panels could have been replaced by one single panel of Momo looking sad, angry, constipated, I don't care. And one text bubble saying, Luffy, after everything. And if you want to be more dramatic, there could have been a little tiny panel next to it with another text bubble saying, how dare you? There, boom, all good. But no, we wasted a whole page on it. Not that it matters much, because most of the chapter was a waste anyway. Okay, what else? The play. Did we really need that? Like, I know it goes back to the first point. The whole arc has been mimicking a play, and it's a nice and fitting way, I guess, to wrap things up. In theory, in stylistic theory, but in practice, no, not in practice. And then you want to know why? Because there go more wasted pages. And look, that panel of everyone happily smiling together is adorable, and I want it framed, but still, why? Why? If there was one fight we needed more information and details about, it definitely wasn't Orochi's and Hiyori's. It just wasn't. And I was invested in the bits that we did get, but that was then, and this is now, and now was not the time. Wow, I probably don't feel as strongly about this, but I am riding the angry train now, so let's see where it takes us until it wrecks. And talking about wrecks, Yamato. Yamato is not joining. At least not now. We could say she's pulling a Vivi, except she's not because she hasn't earned it. Actually, let's explore that parallel a little bit. I liked Vivi a lot. I did. But I also remember feeling a little bit indifferent on whether she joined the crew or not. That said, when she didn't, I do remember feeling rather sad. She had earned that spot in the crew, but her staying behind was true to her character. It made sense, so the whole thing was actually rather wholesome and bittersweet. Can't say the same thing about Yamato. I had the complete opposite experience with her, him, them. The thing is, I went from wanting her to join to being rather relieved that she didn't. Really, I was initially happy with the idea of Yamato joining the crew. I was on board. I was even excited despite the controversy and how badly this character has been handled from the get-go. Because let's be real, Yamato as a character is a hot mess, and there's only Oda to blame. But hey, I liked her. I liked her dynamic with Luffy. She had a purpose, inherited will, a cool design, a devil fruit, and she was Kaido's kid. Having Kaido's kid join in the crew would have been the biggest flex, and it could have worked. It could have been fun, but it wasn't, because her character got ruined and ruined chapter after chapter until she went from cool to shut up. So let's recap. 2 weeks ago, before the break, we end up chapter 1056 with her about to join the crew. Joining the crew, having joined the crew, we don't know. Schrödinger Yamato, what the hell is happening? And this week, we start the chapter with Yamato deciding not to join. What the hell was that? What the fuck happened? What happened? Maybe, just maybe, instead of wasting pages on unnecessary trips down memory lane, we could have been shown the conversation she had with Luffy. What kind of epiphany did she have that completely changed her mind? She could have had an emotional encounter with a random person in Wano and that compelled her to stay. Or Luffy could have just turned her down. Oh, that would have been cool. Actually, you know what happened to me when I was reading the chapter? You know when Yamato tells Momo that she already spoke to Luffy. On the panel right below, we see flashback Luffy telling Momo to identify yourself. Well, I misread that as identify as yourself. And for a split second, I thought that that was Luffy telling Yamato of telling her that he wouldn't have her in the crew until she identified as herself and not Oden. And for a split second, I was so happy. I was like, let's go, Luffy. I was about to praise Oda for self-awareness, but then I realized that that was just me not being able to read, so... that was a letdown. Okay, sorry, back to the point. That was quite a tangent. The thing is that whatever epiphany she had, it happened off-screen, just like half the raid did. Wano, more like one off-screen, am I right? Yeah, that was terrible, I know, so was this chapter, okay? Totally on brand. The whole raid we've had the idea of Yamato joining the crew built up and pushed down our throats. And for what? Reminds me of myself making plans and being hyped about them until I wake up the morning of said plans and I don't want to get out of bed because I can't be bothered to socialize. But really, what was the point? In retrospect, if you take Yamato out of the raid, it stays the same. Sure, she did a few things. She held off a few enemies and she babysat Momo, but that's pretty much it. Tama had a bigger impact on the raid than she did. And that's not to belittle or diminish Tama, just putting things into perspective. So all the baggage and controversy that came with Yamato, all Oda's fault, by the way, because he couldn't separate identity from gender identity, mind you, was all for nothing. It was all for nothing because she woke up on joining crew day and decided to press snooze. Look, I enjoyed Wano, I really did. I had a good time. The highs were off the roof. There is a pun in there, but don't bother, it's not good. And sure, the lows were lower than my self-esteem, which is saying something, but still, I would give Wano an A overall. An A- on a harsh day, but still, thumbs up. But this chapter is the equivalent of having an A worthy meal and then have crappy, bad coffee at the end. It just ruins the whole experience. That's why I never have coffee in restaurants. They rarely ever know what they are doing. Just like Oda with Yamato.